Yesterday, we had to tighten up our schedule, and thankfully, the rest of our day went really, really well. We had no more incidents. But if you don't know, we flew somebody off the track yesterday due to an incident in practice. We have 2 red flags. One was a self-transport. One was flown off the track with bigger injuries. She's doing better, and it seems to be stable from what I'm told, so no concerns there.
About the track.
Oh, yeah.
This seems to have been weighing heavily on Tim's mind, so what does he want to say?
Well, as we saw this weekend, accidents happen just about anywhere, out on the street and on the track. But if, per se, you were to be involved in an accident like this, or would you rather it happen at a track where there's literally an ambulance and medical personnel minutes away from you, or out on a backcountry road, or even here at Ruston Way where you've got Tacoma General like 10 minutes away, but from the time somebody calls 911 to the time that they arrive here could anywhere be between 10 minutes to half an hour, maybe longer. In which case, if you have internal bleeding, you're going to bleed out. You're going to die. Whereas at the track, you've got medical staff there who are properly trained, and that girl who was the rider, she had to be airlifted out. That's how serious it was. And there was somewhere for the helicopter to land right there at the track. Whereas here, there ain't nowhere that you're going to be able to get airlifted out.
All very valid and important thoughts. The irony is that being there Saturday when the rider had to be airlifted out, kind of got in my head. Being my first time at the track, first time riding on track. Like Saturday, I remember very vividly being just super stoked and excited to get out. And then they said that there was an accident and the rider had to be airlifted, and the anxiety started creeping in, and then it kind of festered overnight, right? Like I had the thought, like, we're making sure that the family is there, my wife is going to be there. What if that's me that has to be airlifted out? Like, yeah, thank God they're there, but it also drove the point home. Like, even the track isn't 100% safe, and that definitely contributed to some of my hiccups.
Yeah.
And yeah, you know, I was definitely thrown like out of my element, off my groove when the rear slid out in turn 2, but I stayed out, and I kept trying, and you can't see it as well now because I've been riding, but I used my tire that day. Like, I got comfortable quite a few times, but you know, something would get back in my head. It would creep back in. And then I ended up being distracted by riders behind me. I knew they were coming, and I made the mistake of focusing on them, and I started rolling off of the throttle and trying to make sure I made room for them to be polite. And I overcompensated, and I ended up going off of the track into the grass. I kept the bike upright. I got back up to speed once I got onto the back on the pavement. But I pulled off after that because you only get lucky so many times. And yeah, I've been riding this bike for like a year and a half. I've definitely picked up some skills, and without them, I definitely would have gone down in both those instances. But I also know I got lucky. Like,
Just a little bit.
a little bit. But luck favors the prepared, right?
Yes.
So having taken my time and learning fundamentals and being well experienced with this bike definitely saved my butt. But I also got lucky, and I didn't feel like tempting luck or fate or God or whatever you want to call it, right? Like I didn't want to tempt the situation a third time, because third time's the charm. So
Yeah. No, definitely.
I do even remember thinking, like, as I'm pulling off, like, I know why I'm pulling off, but there was that subconscious thought of, people are going to think I'm chicken.
Yeah, but and there's like a really important part that Nate went and pressed on me is when you're at the track, put your ego aside. Leave your ego in the trailer or whatever, off the track, because you're going to get humbled. I don't care how good of a rider you are out on the street. When you get on the track, you know nothing, essentially. You don't, because you're going a lot faster. You're going speeds that typically you would think were fast on a backcountry road that you know really well.
Yeah.
Like, you commented on it. You're like, I'm doing 120 and I feel like I'm going too slow.
No. So that was the first time in my life we're going. I remember, like, looking down at the speedo. We can find the clip. But I look down, coming through the straightaway, like across the start finish, and I'm going like 126, 127, and I'm still checking to see if anybody's coming up behind me, but I'm covering the brake because 120 something felt too fast and too slow at the same time. Like, I feel like I'm going too fast to make that turn, but I feel like I'm going too slow and somebody's about to just whiz past me.
Right. Well, they were talking about it, that there's riders at Pacific Raceways that hit that front straightaway going over 180 or right around there. So your 120, is about 60 miles an hour off of how fast somebody could be blown by you. But like, I was hitting 150, 160 through the straightaway, and I was holding back a lot, because when you're going through there, it's wide. The track is wide, but at those speeds, it feels narrow. When you're coming from here to there to there, even though you're not turning much, at those speeds, even just a couple degrees off to the right or left feels like a lot. If you're not used to it, when on the street, it feels like typically when you open it up at those speeds, it's on a long straightaway, not when you're coming up to a turn. That's about an 80 mile an hour turn if you're good.
Right.
Plus, there's a lot of traffic at TOR because you've got different varying rider skill level. But that's going to do it for this video.
All right, guys. And we will catch you on the next ride.
Later.